Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm here today with the Fabulous February Fun Folds Day 10. This is our second week of doing them, and it's been so much fun. I hope that you could join me or watch the videos on replay and get some ideas for making some fun fold cards. And I've been trying to use up some of my DSP also, because when it retires I always end up with pieces left because I was so careful I didn't want to use it all. But I am trying to change my ways and trying to use it more to decorate envelopes, to decorate cards, and to have fun with it. So I have about another minute. If you're here, it would be great if you said hello. That way I know someone's watching me. And I just love this Crafting For You set. So I decided to use it. I haven't used it in a long time. You know how it is. You get new ones and you start using those, and then this moves further back, and it just keeps happening until you realize, oh, I haven't used that for months. And I really like it. So that's why I decided to go with it today. And I'm also using some new things out that are going to be coming out in the March online exclusives. Hi, Judy. I'm glad you could be here today. So this is how this card goes. You receive it in the envelope like this, but when you want to display it, you can have it sit up like that. And it just displays very nicely. It's called a book because this is the book fold, having this part right here. That's usually called a book fold. So it's a book easel. 2 fun folds in one. So let's get started today, trying to see if we can, and look at this. Did you notice this on the inside, the scissors? I think the scissors are my favorite part of the dies for this stamp set. Although everything looks pretty. This is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it looks just like it does in person. And this is our cutter with even a little blade right there. It's a great set. So let me see if I have all my pieces over here. I do. I already put the scissors together for this one. I'm just going to make this card again because I have some birthdays coming up. And this is a great birthday card. So the first thing we're going to do is, I also decided, because I hardly ever use Blueberry Bushel, and it's a pretty color, so I went with that, and then the Impressions Blooms that you get free in the celebration, which ends today. So just remember, if you wanted to get some free items, today's the last day at midnight. So I'm just going to tell you how I scored this. First, I cut it at 4 1/4 by 11, so it's a half a sheet of cardstock. I put it in my cutter, and I scored it at 2 1/8. Then I scored it at 4 1/2. Let me see. I have it written down so I don't forget. And then I scored it at 4 1/4. Right there. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. Right there. So there we have it. Easy folds. We're going to get our bone folder out. And we're going to crease it really good. And the first thing we're going to do is make it into the book fold, which means we're going to take this piece back here and add some glue. I'm still using that bottle that I thought was empty the other day. It really had much more in it than I thought. So I'm going to kind of rub this so it sticks and let it dry just for a second. So this is going to give us the card now. So next we want to, I have all my dies here so I can show you what they look like to cut. So now here's our two mats in Flirty Flamingo. And here is our two pieces of the DSP. So this is going to go right on this piece with just 1/8 of an inch border. And this is going to go on this piece. Oh, except for I didn't cut that long. Wait, which one didn't I cut long enough? I did not cut this piece long enough, so that's okay. I have some more DSP over here. Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to. Well, what could we do? Because this piece isn't going to be long enough either, and I hate to cut a whole new piece just for that. So I'm going to kind of put these two pieces together. This is 7/8. It's supposed to be 7/8 by 4. So this is what you could do sometimes. I'm going to add this piece. Right here. And now I'm just going to need just a little bit of a piece. So let's see how much I need. I need like a 1/2 inch. So we'll just cut a 1/2 inch of this off. Since this pattern is so busy, I don't think it'll be as noticeable as if you had a pattern that wasn't as busy. So we're going to try this. Let me just lay it there to see what it does. Oops, I even need less than that. I guess maybe a 1/4 inch. It certainly looks like more than a 1/4 inch, doesn't it? But we shall see. I just can't get it right. I'm just going to have to lay it here and cut it with my snips. And see, this looks like this came right off that piece. So it will match perfectly. There we go. I just really hate to cut a whole new piece just for this little bit. Like I said, this must be where I cut it from because the yellows match up perfect. There we go. So now we have this piece and it goes up here. Now let's hope we cut this piece correctly. This one just has an 1/8, oh actually a 1/16 of an inch because it's just an 1/8 of an inch smaller, so a 1/16 on every side. So that's just barely, and you could always trim your designer series paper to be, you know, a whole 1/4 inch like we usually have if you want, by just cutting it smaller. This is 4 by 4, so you could cut this at 3 3/4. And then you get the regular 1/4 inch border instead of cutting at 3 7/8. Okay, there we go. That one fit perfectly. Let's see what else we have. We have to put on an inside. And so today, since we're going to use the inside too to put the easel part, I'm going to go ahead and stamp Happy Birthday on the inside and glue this down. So I have my blueberry bushel. I have Happy Birthday. I'm going to make this even. Get our stamp. You know, every once in a while your photopolymer need to be just taken to the sink and kind of washed with water because they get a little bit not sticky when they get some dust and stuff on them after you've had them for a while. So I'm going to kind of put this high because I know I have to put my stopper down here. So I'm going to put that on the inside. Oh, and I see I have some glue that leaked out here from when I glued the pieces together, the book fold part. So I'm going to fix that in just a moment. It's just a little bit right here. So I think I'm just going to take my embossing buddy, which has cornstarch inside of it to take away static electricity when you're embossing. But it also helps take away sticky glue. Okay, so there we go. Now this piece is going to go on the front, but only on this front flap. So we have to remember that when we're putting our glue on. We don't want to glue it all the way down, otherwise it will not open. Well, it will open, but it won't stand up like an easel. So we're going to lay that down and we're going to flatten that out. So now we have the outside done, the inside done. Now we just need to add our pieces. And look, I stuck my whole arm in the bluing pad. I knew I forgot to shut it right away when I got finished. Now I have glue everywhere where my arm has touched. So now you're crooked. Well, I made a mess with that, didn't I? I will get out my alcohol pads later and fix that. And this will come off my arm as soon as I go to wash it. Okay, so this is the biggest square from the Stylish Shapes. I'm going to cut that out. And then this is a new embossing folder that's going to come out either March 4th or March 5th. You know, it's gigantic. How can I not see it laying here? It's corrugated. Here it is. Blended in with my notebook. Remember how we used to have the crimper, and you'd have to start your paper just perfect to get it to come out with straight lines? Now you just have to lay your paper on here straight and to get the straight lines. I'm going to love using this. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to cut it out with the Stylish Shapes. I am going to then put it in the embossing folder. And as long as I'm going over there, I'm going to cut out the cutting machine with a piece of black. And I'm going to stamp the cut and emboss machine on here so I could go ahead and cut that off. That way I only have to maybe I'm going to have to get up again do the happy birthday, but that's for the next card. So I'm just going to kind of do this down here. Okay. So I'm going to bring all this over to the cut and emboss machine, and I'll be back in just a jiffy. I'm almost done. I should have probably did this all sooner than you wouldn't have had to wait for me. But if I bring my cut and emboss machine over here, it'll just shake the camera like crazy. So here I got the corrugated look on my piece of white. So I am going to glue this down. Somehow I must have gotten black on the plate or something, because it kind of like got black. It almost looks like maybe it was the cut and emboss machine. So maybe a little bit of that got onto the plate. But we will make it be the back. So we kind of want to center this in place. Now you could always make this piece be as big as you want it. Maybe you want a smaller square and then put a greeting underneath it, just depending on what your focal point is. I kind of had to have one that big to fit the to fit the cutter on there. So next I'm going to stamp the Sending You a Hug in Memento Black just on the leftover piece of that white that I had. So I didn't really measure this. I kind of stamped because, oops, I needed it a little bit darker than that. That's why paper has two sides. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to get my cutter here. And I'm just going to trim around this. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of like lining up the words so that they're underneath this part of the clear. And then that's about as close as I want to get. And again, I'll get the E right up there, almost on the line. And I guess I could measure this for you and tell you I just like to do this one this way. You can measure. Let me measure for you. It's down here on the glass plate. This is 1 1/4 by 1 1/8. And it will fit perfect in the cutting machine. You know, when I made this card, I had to do the little blade. They're on the same die. And I kept losing it from the machine backed over here to my desks. So I had to cut out the little blade 3 times before I finally didn't lose it on the way over. It's so teeny. I'm just trying to poke out this little piece here of the cutting machine so that I could slip my paper through. Okay, so we're just going to slip the paper through like this. You know, and if you wanted to, you could cut out, I've done it before where I cut out this whole cutter in silver also and made this part be silver just like the real thing. But for today, I was just going to go with this. And then I'm going to put a dot of ink, a dot of glue on the back of the blade here. And I found when I did this before that I had a hard time getting it up there without my tweezers. And of course, once you use something here and don't put it back where it belongs, it's hard to find. So we're just going to do this. Okay, then we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back here. And stick it through here again. I could have made it maybe a little bit longer after the homemade so I had more sticking in the, like on this one, but I didn't. Then I'm going to put glue on the back here. And see, then there's no room for any greeting or anything on this one because you have your greeting in the cutter. Okay, so that's our front. Then we're going to put the thing that makes it be an easel, so we need some dimensionals. Let me get my dimensionals out here. We're going to pop this up with dimensionals. You could use a lot of different stamp sets with this. The one I saw on how to make this, they used the book set with the different books. And that was really cute with the little bookmarks and the tassels. So I'm just going to put this down here near the bottom. And then it will hold your card up for display. And then when you mail it, it can go down flat. So now all we need is some dimensionals. So I have some dimensionals. Here's my scissors. Let me put the scissors in first. just put a little bit of glue. So you have to cut out 2 pairs of scissors every time you make it, because it makes a whole silver pair and a whole black pair, and then you kind of cut them apart to get them to look like this. I want these scissors to kind of go up here at the top. I didn't open these as wide as I did the other ones. And then I found the perfect embellishments for this. These little bitty pearls. Let me see what they're called. Here's the festive pearls. So I thought these silver ones, first of all, would look good in the middle of the scissors to make like that screw that holds scissors together. Right here, it has a little hole for a spot. And that looked perfect. And then I could just put a couple of these on this side. And I didn't add ribbon to this one because I just couldn't decide where a ribbon would go. You could put something underneath here. Maybe if you had some blueberry bushel ribbon, or if you had white, you could use your blends to make it into blueberry bushel or flirty flamingo and put it underneath there. I just didn't think about it when I was making it. And so I decided I will go without a ribbon for these today. Although I usually like to try to use my ribbon, because then again, I have the ribbon to use to make things look pretty, so I should use it. So here we go with card number 1. All right, so let's move on to card number 2. This one should be faster because I have everything cut out for it. I won't have to go over to the cut and emboss machine. I showed you how to score the paper 4.5 by 11, and then score it at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. We're going to fold this here. And this is going to be the front of our card where our score is. It's kind of hard to see. Right here. So that'll be our first step, is to put some adhesive here. Rub it down. Then we have our white for the inside. And again, I'm going to say happy birthday, because I need a lot of birthdays are in March coming up. So I decided today that's what I'm doing, making birthday cards. So I'm going to use my Night of Navy ink. Oh, you know what? Never mind. My happy birthday is going to go on the front. So let me see what I could put on the inside. If I have a stamp set. Here, I have one. That will go good on the inside. Let me get another block. So this is going to be a Night of Navy on the inside. I'm going to even my paper, try to even my stamp. This says, hope your day is fantastibulistic, fabulous, and fantastic all in one. So that's pretty good for a birthday card. So we're going to glue this piece on the inside. I know I usually don't glue in my insides till I'm ready to send it when I stamp and sign it, but you need the inside here to get the easel to work. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp them today. Okay, so now we have the inside finished. Now let's work on the outside. Oh, I cut this piece of paper correctly. This is from the Gone Fishing DSP because I have some of this left over and it makes good masculine cards. And again, I like cutting out, oh, you can cut out little hooks, little flies, little corks, some lures, lots of things in the dies to cut out. I'm doing this on Misty Moonlight. That's what my mats are. So this one, let's just be sure it's going to fit before we get glue happy. Okay, it's going to. I hope that you all are having fun making these after you watch the video. It's hard to make them when you're watching the video because I might move faster or slower than you do. I can't believe how much blueberry bushel I have all over my arm, my fingers. But that means I was having fun stamping today. So here we have our front piece. Now on this piece, I used the corrugated embossing folder, but for this piece, I had found this piece in my package of DSP and it fit perfect. And it already has a design on it, so I decided to use that. And I cut this fish out of the paper. Now, this is what I want this to look like. I want it to look like the fish is like mounted on a board on the wall in a house or something. That's what I was thinking when I saw this. So we shall see if it looks like that. So we're going to put this kind of up here because we're also going to put a happy birthday banner at the bottom. So we have that piece. And then we're just going to pop this fish up. I'm supposed to get some mini dimensionals in the mail today. They're still floating around between Kansas City, Springfield, and here. First they say they don't have it, then they say, oh, they found it. And now it's in Springfield, and it went to a second place in Springfield, and today it says it should be here. So we shall see. I've been waiting since Tuesday. So I'm just going to kind of put this on here. Then I'm going to use this scrap of paper that I had left over from the other card. And I'm going to take my happy birthday stamp and clean it. And use Night of Navy. And I'm hoping I have enough room there, but I think I do. So I'm going to say happy birthday. And I'm going to use the same die that I used yesterday from the new Textured Notes dies. So it has this texture around where you cut it. I'm just closing this before I stick my other arm in one. So, oh, I did that perfectly. Let me go cut this out real quick. It worked perfectly. So, now we're going to, maybe I should have did this in beige or vanilla to more match this background here, but we're just going to go with white since I already have it cut out. And we have a white inside. I should have went maybe all with it all vanilla or beige, basic beige. And this is going to go right down here. It kind of goes all the way across. I didn't really measure this one either because I just found the piece in my package just like this, but it is like 2 3/4 by 3. So it's not quite a square. But that's the fun of these cards. You can make them however you like. So we're going to place this in the middle here. Oh, I think that looks like a mounted fish on a board. That could be on somebody's wall. I didn't get any glue on that corner. Then we're going to take the glue. We're going to fold this at this 2 1/8 mark. And we know that we only want glue on this side. And to leave some space because there is a little border. So I won't go all the way to the sides or to the bottom. Then I'm going to center this on here. Be sure that I have it all down flat. Then it should pop up like this. Now we just need something down here to hold it. So look what we have. This fish. I cut him out of the paper. He's just perfect. He's going to fit right there. Not sure what kind of a fish he is. Maybe a bluegill. I'm only saying that because he's blue. I'm not really sure. He's just a chubby little fish that will work perfect for a stopper. So we're going to put this down at the bottom of the card. And it will hold up our easel. So there we go. 3 easel cards. 2 the same, 1 different. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that you had a good time. Oh, forgot to put some elements on here, some embellishments. Because I still have some of these river rock things. And I'm thinking I need to use these up. And a fishing card would be the perfect thing to use them on. So I think I'm going to go with maybe these grayish ones because they kind of match this striped paper there. So we'll get some different shaped rocks here. These have been stuck down a long time. So we're going to put one right there. We're going to put a little one right up here in this corner. Oh, that does go good with that paper too. And then we'll put one of these up here. So there we go, and we could use some Winkostella, the fish, to make him shiny. There we go. Now we have 2 cards done. And again, there's no ribbon on here because I really couldn't decide unless I put the ribbon underneath the front panel here, and then you don't see it very much. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, Judy. Great. I hope you have a good weekend. Bye.